Hey guys, it's Phil, the Smiling Gardener, and I've just put together a list of my 50 absolute best organic gardening books, or at least my favorites. You can check that out. If you're not already on the website, you can check those out at smilinggardener.com/books. And I've put together pictures and little reviews and links to other reviews and other information on them. So it's actually a really good list. I spent a lot of time on it. And I thought what I'd do is take my 5 favorite of those books and just tell you a little bit about them here. So the first book is about plants, and it's called The Secret Life of Plants. It's a classic book, and it's a little bit more esoteric, but really good advice, and it'll change the way you think about plants. They're a lot smarter than a lot of us think. So a little bit of information about how plants can read our mind, what kind of music they like. They definitely prefer certain kinds of music, and they don't like some kinds of music. And how they respond to being threatened, either physically or even if we think about hurting them. But there's actually some practical information in there. It's really well researched and well footnoted and everything. So even if you're skeptical, I think you should check this book out. It's one of my favorites. The next category is microorganisms, and the book is called Teeming with Microbes. Microbes are so important in the garden, as important as calcium and nutrients. And this is a really great introduction to what they do in the garden, in the soil, and on plants, and more importantly, how we can help them do their job and even bring them in through compost and compost tea and other microbial inoculants. So this is another practical book, lots of good advice, but a really fun read, and you'll learn a lot from this one too. Next category is soil, my favorite topic. I have a lot of books in the list about soil that are really good. This one is, it's definitely at the top of my list because it's a pretty easy read. It's called the Non-Toxic Farming Handbook, but it's not just for farmers. It's for anyone who wants to have really good soil. And Phil Wheeler uses the Albrecht and the Ream systems of soil management. Lots of information in there about how to test your soil, fertilizing it, and a lot of information ultimately about pest control, weed control, insect control, and all that, because it's, you have healthy soil and healthy plants, and those things don't cause problems. So I love that book on soil management. Next category is permaculture. Permaculture is basically a system of sustainable design, and there's a focus definitely on growing an abundance of healthy food, but it's a design system looking at the relationships between all of the elements in your garden. So where do you put your compost pile and your vegetables and your chickens, and how do they all relate to each other, and how can they actually provide things for each other such that it becomes a sustainable garden, a garden that pretty much takes care of itself. So that's kind of a quick definition of it. It's a really good topic, and this is my favorite introductory book on permaculture. It's a lot easier to read than the Mollison books, which are really good, but this is a good intro. Next category is vegetable gardening. I'm always kind of leery of books on veggie gardening. They just never seem to do that great of a job, frankly. Especially when it comes to soil management. What some of them are good at, and this is one of my favorites, is just giving you information on the plants and so this one, how to select them and grow them and harvest them. This has a lot of plants in it. It's presented in a really good way. I like how it's done. And there's a lot of information in here on short-term pest control as well. So just, when you have a problem already, kind of how can you get rid of it in the short term. For long-term pest control, you want to read the Non-Toxic Farming Handbook and other soil books. And the book in the next category, which is just general organic gardening, what's my favorite general book, and that is Working with Nature, which was written by my friend Haida Hermery, founder of Gaia College. It's more of a textbook, so it's more expensive, but it's bigger too, and it's just really, it brings all of these other disciplines together. A lot of information on soil management and water management. Again, more on soil testing and fertilizers. There's a great chapter on energy in the garden and radionics and just really cool stuff, kind of the future of gardening, in my opinion. And the overall book is just about creating health in the garden such that you don't have any pest problems and you have healthy food and healthy people, and it's definitely one of my favorite gardening books. So those are my top, I guess 6 I have in here. And if you want to check out all 50, go to smilinggardener.com/books. And that is all for today. So until next time, keep your eye on the soil and remember to smile.